dun, 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 mm, 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 mm. Yeah, that's the Star Wars music. Good morning. This is Dr. Mia Lueth. It is November 24th, 2025. It is 9:02 a.m. Eastern Time, New York, USA. And yes, I am going to talk about the Jets game like quite a few others. There's a lot of us chiming in, and I am going to be honest with some people who were on the live chat on the post game interviews that were sent out via YouTube last night after the game. And yes, that was me calling some of you obnoxious. Okay. But what I'm going to say is, I do think I have the right to do that. And you're just going to have to take it like grown, boys and girls, because you all thought you had the right to say Comrie sucks and this guy sucks, and the team doesn't know what they're doing, and blah 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 blah. So if you guys want to do that, then I'm allowed to call you obnoxious. Okay? Because that's how I feel. And there was some agreement live on the chat. What I'm going to tell you about Eric Comrie is, yes, he's in the backup position. Okay? And no, I saw another comment on Kenny and Rennie a little later on that mentioned, oh, okay, Connor Hellebuyck decided to screw over his team. Well, that's just a false statement, and it's basically a full-on lie. Like, that's not an opinion. You see, there's some people who think, oh, it's just an opinion, it's my opinion, and I'm like, no, it's a lie. Because if people really bothered to just stay quiet briefly and go to the Winnipeg Jets website, okay, or in some cases, Illegal Curve has all the pre and post game interviews, okay, and you listen to all of the information that's coming out through this directly from the club, you would know that it was known that he was injured. He was playing injured, okay, but the team and doctors and Connor Hellebuyck all agreed that this would be the best time to take care of that injury before it got worse. So no, Connor Hellebuyck did not screw over his team. Okay? Some of these are not actual opinions. They're just bold-faced lies. Now, some people have the opinion, oh, Connor sucks. Listen, I'm a goalie, and I think what really is going on is the actuality of everybody now understanding that the Winnipeg Jets have been leaning back on Connor Hellebuyck for 4 years straight. And they can't lean back on Comrie. Yeah, I know. Some people are goalies, and some people who are, very in tune and understand what they're looking at when they see an ice hockey game. I mean, we can all agree that there was a little too much space, okay, when with Comrie in the net, and yes, someone took advantage of it and scored a goal. Okay, but the video is going to be looked at. Okay, I know that Combs is going to look at this, and I know that Flats and other people, right? So he's slowly but surely learning how to handle the number one position because he's not used to it here in. You understand? It's a different kind of situation. And Eric Comrie is the one that has the most stress and pressure on him every single second of that game. So if people want to lies and quote unquote their opinion, okay, well, I'm allowed to get online and one, say, okay, well, you're obnoxious, or two, well, if you listen to the actual press that came out, you're telling lies. That's not opinion, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lie. Okay? I saw some people trying to say, and I did put the link. Like I'm right out in the open. Okay? If we could actually manage, if the universe could manage us to be face to face together in the same room, I would call you obnoxious to your face. So this is the best I can do. Okay, I'm not hiding. This is who I am. It's my name. I'd be happy, right, if I could. You understand? This is, the best I can manage considering all things. So I did put the link down in my chat. And yes, I was the one who did call some people obnoxious. And the reason why is exactly like I said. Okay, Eric Comrie doesn't suck. And admittedly, maybe. Yeah, I agree. There was one goal that, right, he's trying to get his number one starting position at Mojo going. And he needs to get a rhythm. And if any of you understood that position, you would be less likely to call him and say he sucks. Okay, like even goalies who play ice hockey. Okay, if you haven't played at the NHL level, like we can say everything we want to say, but I mean, how much better do you think we could have done? Because I'll be honest and tell you, like if I was in that, it would have been a whole lot worse. Waiters, 27. Waiters and Matt cracked me up. I know somebody told me not to pump their tires. I'm like, oh, sorry. This is funny. Okay, like some of the chatters and people are, Winnipeg Jets faithful. Like I'm kind of like introducing myself. Like I've been around, guys. I haven't been saying too much. Okay, but I'm Winnipeg Jets for life. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm also, right, an ice hockey fan. So I, like look and listen to all kinds of other stuff. And I got to be honest with everybody. Like I realize that yes, we aren't used to looking at this kind of ice hockey. By the way, kids, blueberries for breakfast and some kind of protein. Okay, right? Juices have a lot of sugar, so you have to kind of make sure you balance that. hmm People with glycemic index issues, or you're on a keto diet, eat them slowly but surely. The fruit with the lowest carbs, just as a side note, everybody, is blackberries. Okay, some people have to because of certain medications I take. I have an issue. Okay, it isn't exactly like type 2, but I do have to be careful because I can get hypoglycemic really easily, and I don't have to take insulin. That's great, but I do have to be really careful with what I put into me. So blueberries have more carbs, but they're smaller, and eating them slowly kind of helps keep your energy level stable. Just saying. But fruit is yummy. And has natural sugar. You don't need to add sugar. And if start, eating natural sugar, okay, and things that are already kind of sugary in the natural sense, okay, you won't grow to be addicted to adding sugar to things. You'll actually start to think that added sugar is gross, which I do. Like, I don't understand how anybody can drink Southern tea. Like even if, I mean, to me it's like drinking salt water. So just get in the practice of not adding sugar to things, and you won't have so many health issues. Okay, but yes, that's me. Hi, I'm the one who called some of them obnoxious. All right, and it's because probably they weren't listening to the actual press that came directly from. Okay, Hellebuck has had a little injury. The team in Hellebuck decided together, okay, this is the best time for him to do it. And we certainly don't want it to get any worse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, we want our goalie to be as good to go as possible. All right. So this was, never really a good time to do it, but this was agreed upon by everybody. It wasn't Connor. Like, yeah, I know. I saw it on Kenny and Rennie post game. Connor screwed over the team. And I'm just like, no, you see, but here's the other thing about human behavior and psychology and all behavioral sciences. Listen, I'm so well trained and versed in so many different ways that I can tell you, no, that's not the way the team is thinking. That's not the way some of the fans are thinking. That's not the way a lot of people are thinking. That's the way you think. So that's more telling about you, chatter, on live YouTube than anything else. Okay? Connor didn't screw over anybody. And that's not really a mature look at how the National Hockey League works, just so you know. All right. Granted, okay, but Comrie is the guy who plays for the Winnipeg Jets right now who has the most pressure on him. All right? Because the team did get kind of used to leaning back on Connor Hellebuck. So people are saying, oh, I bet they're missing Ehlers. No, 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 no. They're missing Connor Hellebuck. Is more to the points. Okay? It's more to the truth. Now, listen, everybody, I know I'm going to be the one that's going to annoy people because of optimism and so on and so forth. I'm not. I mean, it was a little bit, I'm like, oh, crap. Oh, crap, guys. Oh, crap. Oh, no, another shorty. Oh, geez. Okay. I'm like, right. And I did get to see the game. Um, I listened to it first. And then since I get up early in the morning, I was able to watch the game too. And I gotta be honest with you. I mean, it was almost miraculous. One of those saves that the puck luck and the hockey gods were with the goalie and the Wild on because that was like perfectly good pressure. And the Jets were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. Good winning ice hockey. And that thing refused to go in the net. It was this close to the line, ladies and gentlemen. You understand? Like, why it didn't go in, I don't know. Okay, so for one of those goals, yeah, we got robbed, all right? But this is the things that are happening with the Jets. For those of us who are long-term ice hockey fans and we understand the National Hockey League and all the trends, this happens every single year to other teams too. Okay? This is not uncommon in the National Hockey League. Okay? It really isn't. And, I'm to use the term geriatric, listen to me. There are teams recently who've actually won the Stanley Cup who have some guys who are over 30. And 33 is not old for an ice hockey player. Okay? Also, when it comes to Jonathan Toews, listen, I'm going to get annoying about this. he's not gonna be the Jonathan Tays that you are all used to looking at, because the Winnipeg Jets don't want the Chicago Blackhawks 2015 version of Jonathan Tays. That's not at all what the club is looking for. Okay, they did not get him on the team to do those things that he was doing over there with the Blackhawks. He's also learned a lot about his body, about nutrition, about a lot of other things while he was out, because he's, medical conditions, which I understand, because I also medical condition. That's another reason, like, the food that I eat, as in the diet I'm on, is, yes, it's more difficult to manage, also because some of my medications are potassium sparing, and your heart works with the NAK pump, which is the sodium potassium pump. So if I start getting hyperkalemic, it means that I've got too much potassium, and it could start to be proved to be deadly. Just anyway, but Jonathan Tays is actually the new and improved Jonathan Tays. Okay, I have every kind of faith in the guy, because if you knew how he was on the Blackhawks, if you understood his hockeyness, you understand, he's self-motivated. Okay, his role is not the same. Okay, he has a different role with the Winnipeg Jets than he did with the Blackhawks. Okay, the club just isn't stupid. I mean, the Winnipeg Jets aren't hockey stupid. Chevy isn't hockey stupid. Okay, Scott Arniel's not hockey stupid. Flats, Wade, Flaherty, right? I listen, when it comes to goaltending, I know a person in the National Hockey League who works with the goalies. I'm making my business to know that. Yeah, Flats isn't stupid. What's happening is that everybody is now coming to the shocking realization that the team was leaning back on Connor Hellebuyck for the past 4 years. And it's rather independent of Ehlers. And Ehlers wanted to go. And some of these guys, the younger guys, okay, especially the forwards, they will start really getting the mojo going. Okay, they will. Trust that. Okay, Flats, comms. Okay, also probably Connor's, Hellebuyck's probably watching games and is, talking to comms. Eric Comrie is the one who goes out on ice that has the most pressure and stress on him. And he will start improving. Okay? I know. I wear glasses. I do all kinds of stuff just to keep it interesting. But I'm going to be annoying to some people, and I don't mind debate. I don't mind if, we disagree on things and how we see things, because sometimes somebody can mention something to me like, oh, well, that's a good point. But I get my information directly from the club, you understand? And there's a lot of stuff they don't say. I'm just going to keep saying this. I see and recognize a few things that maybe some of you don't, and it doesn't seem like you do yet. This really is, I've listened, like the players know that there's still things that they really need to work on. I have been paying attention to some of these other NHL teams, and I got to be honest with you. Yeah, Buffalo's going to surprise everybody. Don't some people you start, you take every team seriously. Okay, everybody get out of the old habit of looking at the standings to say, oh, it's just Buffalo, it'll be easy to beat. Well, there's some teams who now are finding out that's just not true. Get out of that mindset, get out of that mentality. Okay? Okay, just as fans, like it'll help you out a little, less stressful as a fan. It's, I mean, I get it, but let's try not to be miserable about it, because that just sucks in general. Okay, I'm still encouraged by some of the things that I've seen and heard, right? But stop with that mentality of, oh, he's not the same that he was in the Black. Of course he's not. He's not supposed to be. This team does not want the former Taser who played with the Blackhawks. That's not his role. That's not who he is anymore. He's like melding with the club. Okay? And some of these teams here, take heart, everyone. Some of these teams in the National Hockey League, they are playing their best. This is true. Some of them have beaten the Winnipeg Jets. However, right now, they're not going to get better. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Some of them cannot maintain the pace. Some of them have plateaued. Like, we've seen their very best ice hockey. But the Winnipeg Jets still slowly working. Okay, that mountain that everybody, the teams climb every year, climbing Mount Stanley Cup. Okay, the Jets are aware. Sometimes like precarious footing. Sometimes like, oh, okay, we put our foot over here. Oh crap. Oh, that one. You understand? Our guys are really patient, and that pays dividends when it comes to the National Hockey League. There are teams we have played that, yes, they beat us, but we have seen their A games. And this early in the season, at this point in time, considering they're also going to have injuries, and we're also learn some of them are not going to be able to maintain it. But the Jets are still improving. Okay, I know how to assess and read benches and see teams. I've been at this for so very long. When I was even employed by a club at one point, right? I have a, like I said, it was the AHL, and it was while full official affiliation was taking place. Anyway, I know how some of these guys think. And the one thing we don't want is the guys who go out on ice and do this to get discouraged. So there are still some good things, and it's hard to see, I know, which is why I am doing this. I've seen hockey clubs season in, season out, all these things that happen. I know. And I know that our Neil is actually getting the core guys to respond. Here's the thing. If we were all used to looking at, the Jets over the past few years, and they were basically playing the same kind of ice hockey, well, don't you think that other teams also? So maneuvering differently is hockey wise, even if it doesn't seem like it right now. I know Pionk went out. Listen, as far as Lambeau, I know there was somebody on the with Liz and Connor, the Sunday Winnipeg Sports Talk. Who I'm like, is this guy, Adam? Is this guy Lambo's freaking dad, or is this like person? Is that Lambo? You play Lambo. This is one line ago, like play Lambo, Lambo. I'm like, are you Lambo's agent? I'm like, listen, Lambo is set up for success. People need to see this. Listen, he's a big star in the AHL. Guys get injured. It's just the way it is in ice hockey. I mean, that is the unknown factor. It doesn't matter how well they plan structure. It doesn't matter how well they play. Every single team ends up with an injured player. It just is. This is the National Hockey League, everybody. Welcome to the National Hockey League. It is the one unknown that every single franchise, all exactly the same, no matter who's on their team, no matter who the GM is, no matter who the coaching staff is, or the captain, or any other thing. It is completely independent of all that. Every single team has to work with that unknown variable. We are just like every other National Hockey League team that way. Okay? So having a next man up mentality is good, because then you're putting confidence. But listen, Lambo should just ride out being a star with the Moose. And the good thing, which may not be known, is that injuries happen. So he's going to be like number one on the list, to be called up. If it really comes, right. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I know, Stanley, listen, don't get so micro analytical sometimes, like, oh, but, Stanley made a mistake. Like, and like, you go through the day perfectly, all of you. I mean, and most of us don't have to worry about going to work and getting punched in the face or speared in the private parts, or having our family insulted, or like, somebody yelling something horrible that's like mean and unfriendly in a language we don't understand, but I know. Yeah, like, okay, well, I don't know what you said, but that probably wasn't very nice. Okay, everybody. Is what I'm saying. As fans, as Winnipeg Jets fans specifically, just everybody together, we're going to do this. Ready? Okay. Hold. 3, 2, 1. And keep blowing out until you can't anymore. It's called. There's a name for it, depending on where you are in the world, or other. There is actual names for that. It is a type of breathing, and what it does, it's called the clear breath. In just plain simple English, it translates to the clear breath. Okay, you take in as much as you can. You hold it for you can hold it longer if you got a lot of breath, but not too much, because then you get lightheaded and pass out. Don't do that. Okay, and then just blow until you can't blow out anymore. Okay, it's called the clear breath, and what it's doing is clearing stuff that typically in human thinking gets in our way. Whether it's from outside of us or inside of us. And it gives you those few seconds to kind of like, before you say something, or before you get too upset, or, okay, but you do it. You only need to do it once, just once, and then just like let it go, and then like reset your thinking, recover your thinking. The one thing I can tell you is that there are NHL goalies, and there are people who work for the National Hockey League and a few press people who do know who I am. But it's like if I put something on my Twitter account, which I am working on trying to fit $11 into my budget so that I can actually get verified, but also so I can use TweetDeck. Okay, TweetDeck makes it a little easier when it comes to like hockey stuff because I can use you have to pay for the thing. So I will say recover, and when I say recover, it means kind of like the guys on ice. As fans, we can do that too. It's like, well, we're going to a face-off. Like we just been scored on, but the game's still going, man. And as fans, we can learn to do that too. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Recover. Let's just we're still blessed enough to be able to watch an ice hockey game. Okay, or listen to it, or talk about it, or be a fan. You know what I'm trying to say? And or go to live games. Like, just change the thinking slightly, and then it starts to pick up. Okay, but definitely we don't want the guys on ice getting discouraged. That's not going to help anybody. They're being realistic. If you look at the press, they are being, yeah, DeMilo said something. I know Tays has sort of this like flat affect. You can't, he's hard to read facially. Right? But he definitely would not be saying, okay, that Combs did a good job and he explained, well, this, and this for players can't imagine what it's like for the goalie. No, he can't. But the team collectively has now definitely come to the realization of how much they were leaning back on Connor Hellebuyck. And Sean Reynolds, Rennie, did mention something at the post game Kenny and Rennie show that sort of like mentally wears you down, trying to be defense first, kind of constantly doing those kind of things. And to be honest with you, perhaps, I mean, I can't argue that, all right, but I think that there are some other qualifiers that temper that a lot of pro athletes just know. So it may not affect them as much as it would affect those of us who aren't in the game constant, full time pro athletes right now. So that I'm not saying it discounts the whole thing. I'm saying it's probably not as much of a factor as Rennie might think, but I'm sure it probably does factor a little. And what I'm saying is there's a difference between everybody play defense and everybody understand defensive responsibility in the National Hockey League. Okay? So defensive responsibility. See, so things are changing a little bit. We're not going to be seeing the Winnipeg Jets of the past few years because that would not be smart ice hockey. Okay? You got to let go of it. That's why I tell people, I'm like, no, it's this season now. Let go of it. Just let go of it. Let go. Everybody, hi. Everybody, like together, let's all just together just know, point blank, this is the 2005 2006 season. And what's happened in the past is done and over. Okay? They can learn from the past, but the good thing is that some of these guys are experienced enough to know not to repeat. So of course I'm like, oh geez, he has another. Oh no, another shorty. Yeah, like oh no. But one of those goals should have freaking gone in for us. I don't care. Watch the video. Like that mother grabber should have gone in. Okay, they are trying to put together a full 60. I get it. It's a little deflating. Oh no, guys. Okay, but my reaction is not because I am not, you know, a fan or that I don't. I'm still saying right out loud. I think we're gonna make the playoffs because some of these teams that we've played against are playing their A games. And some of them are going to start to find out because that's what happens to youthful teams if you paid attention to the National Hockey League and other trends and things like that. Some of these teams aren't going to be able to maintain. And if they have key injuries, don't handle it like the Jets do, could easily start, losing footing on Mount Stanley Cup. Now, the next game is those cheating clowns over there, former Washington Capitals. And boy, do I want Jets to beat them. But there's another example of fighting. Okay? Listen, if those guys are truly, really okay with fighting sometimes, you don't have a right to dictate to them. It's up to the ones who do it on ice, and not any of us. Lowry, yeah, I mean, well, that's what I was saying. Oh no, we got scored on, and then a little bit while later, the announcer's like, "All right, we're duking it out." I don't like. I'm like, here's Lowry's process. Oh, we got scored on. I don't know. I got a beat on one of these suckers. Hey, you, come here. You know what I'm saying? All right. It gets a little bit out of him, like, all right, I feel better. But it also is letting the other team know that, you know, you're gonna have a hard time with this. We're not just gonna lay down and let you run over us, that kind of thing. And it's like a captain thing to do. I mean, spur on the bench a little bit, and also let comms know, kind of in hockey, nonverbal language, like, yeah, we know we need to show up for you, dude. Okay, so yeah, I'm one of those people who are just gonna stay positive about things because there's a bunch of stuff that these guys still don't have control over. And some of you who've never ever played ice hockey might not understand. They don't have control over some of these things. And well, neither do we. So I honestly, if I was dubious about a GM, trust me, at some point I would say so. And I did say so when it came to George McPhee at one point. But I waited a long time and I listened to all sorts of perspectives and I started realizing, oh shit, not hockey smart. Oh no, not hockey smart. Oh, what the fuck is going on? Okay, I'm out. Especially when a lot of those fans just started jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, I got death threats from some of these fuckers. Like, if I got paid money, it might be a little different. But it got to the point where it's like these people, they want instant gratification, like a lot of people on earth. And you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, well, that's a falsehood. So let's not brain train ourselves like that. Jets fans, okay? Like, understand what you love about the game. I know they've been. I know. I really was hoping that they could get on ice and like overtake the Wild myself too. So this one, it's like, as a fan, it's a little deflating as a fan. Okay, but based on their reactions and the things and the stuff I know about the other teams and the stuff that they know, okay, it's still encouraging. Especially since one of those goals should have fucking gone in, okay? And yeah, Combs may have let one in that maybe Hellbuck didn't. All right, it fucking happens, man. Do you think Combs not gonna learn? Well, you're wrong. Dead wrong. And one of you on the chat, point blank, just told a lie. You told an all-out lie. So some of this is an opinion. Now, I know there's other goalies out there, and I know there's a couple I've talked to online that are Jets fans. And yeah, we might say, I am saying, goalie perspective, if you're really looking at it, yeah, there was one soft goal comes, right? But, I mean, you gotta give the fucking guy a chance, you understand? Like, you guys could not play that position. Okay? Take it easy on comms, people. He's got to find his NHL rhythm as a starter. You're all going to be disappointed and pissed off and annoyed because Chevy's not going to fucking go trade for a goalie. No, we don't miss Nikolai Ehlers. I'm not going to second guess some of the thinking because they do have a plan and they do have a structure. That structure may have changed a little, right? So that we're not too predictable. And also, now everybody can see, including the guys on the team and the fans and the rest of everybody, the Winnipeg Jets had been leaning back on Connor Hellebuyck for the past 4 years. People should be more appreciative of world-class goalies, to be honest. Combs doesn't suck. Okay? I disagree with you, and I think you're obnoxious for saying that. Okay, go Jets, go. I know. I'm going to annoy people. That's just the way it is. I'm still encouraged. I'm still looking at every possibility for playoffs, without a doubt, because I know some of these teams are going to start slipping and sliding. Okay? Trust me. Some of these teams are playing their A game, and they're not going to be able to maintain. We got a whole freaking season to go, man. If some of you are tanking out at this point, it's like, do you love ice hockey or what's going on? Or are you, do you watch? Why do you watch games? I mean, if some of you are betting on the games and you lose a bet, I don't have sympathy for you. All right. But the rest of you aren't, just like, it's not that bad, really, to be honest with you. I mean, they know they got to work on it. And, yeah, I mean, Combs has the most pressure on him. He's the one with the most pressure on him. And he doesn't suck. And he's not going to be sent down. Okay, those of you keep trying to, like, nobody's going to be able to convince Chevy to send Combs down to the Moose. All right. Yes, Eric Comrie is the one who has the most pressure on him. Okay, everybody? And I know how these guys think, and I know that some of those teams that are doing well are going to start to experience problems. And nobody should think that Buffalo can't beat you, because they're proving that they can beat really good teams. This is the like 2025 NHL. And no, we're not going to remove all fighting. It's just not going to happen. Some safety measures can be put in, some other things. It's just not going to happen. Okay? Just take my word for it. I don't give a crap. You can curse me, you can yell at me, you can think I'm obnoxious, you can send me death threats. I mean, that's what some of these assholes. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, I wasn't wrong about the Lightning, and I wasn't wrong about Colorado, and I wasn't wrong about the Florida Panthers, and I definitely wasn't wrong about the Washington Capitals, the former Washington Capitals. I promise I wouldn't call them that if they won the Stanley Cup. Like, you'll start seeing more and more, and be happy you get to listen to an ice hockey game. Be happy you get to go to an ice hockey game. Be happy you get to watch ice hockey games on TV. You go in like that, yeah, I know. It was a little deflating. Like, oh, jeez. We lost again. Okay. I love ice hockey. And I want those guys to be as successful as humanly possible given all factors in the National Hockey League. Guys are going to fight sometimes. Okay. But these days, some of the guys who are protectors or guardians, right, also have some other skills. I, I don't know what else to say. I know that people, I know why, but it is, in a sense, to say the same kind of fighting. Maybe not. Okay. And then the penalty is a little more, and they've slowly but surely, like I said, but this is a men's pro level full contact sport. And fights have certain rules. So you would have to rebuild from zero scratch. And there really isn't anyone who's got a convincing enough argument to do that. And let me just say something about Mr. Wayne Gretzky. Number one, yes, thank you for putting third eyes in the back of the goalie's head from your office. Also, clearly not the greatest ice hockey player. Clearly, at this point. That is well known. Also, yeah, kind of a shitty coach. You ask the people who he coached. Yep. Also, right, if he wants to talk about how fighting ruins a National Hockey League, I'm just like, excuse me, Gretz. No one would even know who you are at this point, and you would not be, the great one at all if you didn't have protectors and guardians and dudes protecting you the entire fucking time. I don't care what some of you think. Why don't you see it this way? I'm showing you a perspective. It's possible that the, Gretzky family may have been the ones who fucked up Jets 1.0 Arizona. Be careful who you idolize, people. Idolize none. Learn from them. Appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? Now, never ever compare yourself to anyone else. And that's good advice for just regular people in, right, the Jets proper, who go out on ice every day and have to do this. And that extends to the Moose. Lambeau, just go be a star. You understand? Okay, when the Jets need you, it's not like you're low on the list to be called up. Okay, everybody? So I gotta go. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna chime in. And I do understand where, Sean Reynolds come from. Yeah, Rennie, I understand. Uh, the athlete mentality does kind of negate some of that, but to say it can't be a factor, I understand. Especially for the younger guys who are, trying to get their footing as pro athletes. Um, but no, we're not going to see the exact same Winnipeg Jets. It doesn't even make sense if you really think about it. So everybody just let go of the previous seasons and, be present with the team and try to understand, at the very least, that Eric Comrie is the person on that team who is under the most pressure and under the most stress. And no, he's not held up. And understand this is now very, very much illustrating how much the Winnipeg Jets were leaning back on Connor Helga. Defensive responsibility is a little different from full defense first. We all just play defense. That's not at all what that means. And there are guys I know who are playing that club who understand that. Okay, it may not look like it right now, but we're not that bad off. All right, but yeah, call some people obnoxious or just like be like, well, you can say what you want. You want the freedom to say Connie sucks. You want the freedom to say, Vassy screwed over. Or sorry, I know Vassy's one of mine too. Yeah, Hellbuck. Look how well Vassy's doing. Hallie's one of mine. It's hard to explain. The other ones have to go out and do it though. You understand? So just sometimes just take a deep breath, blow it out. I get it. I mean, I felt it too. It's a little deflating as a fan. Like, oh, okay, but yeah, just you gotta give credit to also the Wild goalie and their ability to defend that freaking puck should have gone in. But some of those teams, especially the really young ones, are gonna start hitting walls and finding out that they can't maintain that level of play. Okay? So go Jets go. Try and take it easy on me, please. Don't send me death threats. I mean, just think a little before you do that. Right? And you can hate on me, and I don't mind discussion online. I don't mind other perspectives because I learn like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Because sometimes I think about that part. That's why I say the things I do, because sometimes maybe some of you may not think about that. But the main point, as me being a fan of the Jets, is I don't want them to get discouraged. You know what I'm saying? Because we still got a real shot. Yes, we do. All right. All right, well, go Jets, and may all of you be healthy and find joy wherever you go. Okay. All right, yeah. Beat the Craps. I don't care. Beat the former Craps.